implemented activities in the hospital with the patients, also doing monthly, quarterly education, going to market schools, mosques, churches, house to house. We partnered with survivors, and the social media is also awards with our flyers. We also came up with an innovative project which was run by healthcare workers, which ran for about 6 months, but due to the fact that people preferred an in-person rather than a virtual contact, we didn't proceed with the helpline beyond the 6 months period. We've also organized CPDs across all healthcare workers, and the response has been great. Overall, what we will say is that people were eager to learn, especially when it was one-on-one in the communities. And they were ready to collaborate, especially in the media, Metro TV, Joy Prime. We got several opportunities to be on radio, on TV, to share the knowledge we had and also create awareness about making sure the journey of breast cancer patients was more conclusive and absent of stigmatization. Of course, we did face some challenges, and I've alluded to some of them. The fact that patients tend to, or people in the community prefer one-on-one rather than virtual, especially where formal education is a challenge. And we hope that ultimately the key findings of the project will be published, will be presented in conferences, and volunteers from the project will also continue to implement these activities even beyond the project, such that beyond October, project members at the various sites can still do monthly or quarterly education on breast cancer awareness. We desire and propose and hope that there will be further opportunity from Pfizer and others to help us continue this conversation beyond the official end of the project. And we hope that the conversation of breast cancer continues to resonate beyond October. Although today marks the official end of the project, I do say we've all been empowered to do more when it comes to patient-centered approaches, especially in this case, breast cancer. And this would not have been possible with all our collaborators. And I am personally grateful for all the people that were approached and recruited across the country, people who served as resource persons, and we can't, the list is endless. But before I end, I just want to say that I am so grateful for everybody, the cohesion and the way that we came together to ensure that this project was the success it was. Thank you all, and God bless you. Bisayen, ask us and touch us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Van Dyke. It's always lovely to see you. We know it's very cold where you are, but you still make the time to talk. Thank you very, very much. At this juncture, we would hear from the acting global Outreach Consortium Executive Director, Dr. Gordon Amu, who would give us the project summary and key outcome presentation. Oh, sorry. I think before that, before Dr. Amu comes in, we will have the project documentary. The project documentary.
Bisayen project by the Global Outreach Consortium. A former Minister of State, Reverend Dr. Joyce Ide, emphasized the urgent need to educate the public and break the barriers that prevents many women from seeking timely medical care. She highlighted that misinformation about breast cancer remains a significant obstacle in the fight against the disease. The Executive Director of Global Outreach Consortium, Dr. Priscilla Van Dyke, emphasized the importance of seeking appropriate treatment.
We realize that a lot of people, somebody might identify a lump in their breast, and instead of going to the hospital, they will go to maybe a herbal clinic, and they are given some medicine, and they will be told that when you swallow these medications, it will let the lump disappear. All we are saying is, whenever you discover a lump in your breast, make sure the correct investigations are done.
Over 2 impactful years, Bisayen has brought breast cancer awareness to the forefront in Ghana, touching lives across 3 regions. From empowering workshops and emotional radio dramas to uniting walks and community outreach, we've sparked conversations, shattered stigmas, and improved early detection. Join us as we fight the milestones, stories, and hope in the fight against breast cancer. These are the stories of 3 survivors that we engaged.
I am a breast cancer survivor. I never met anyone from the cancer community when I was going through my journey, but personally, I had psyched myself that I was going to beat cancer at all costs. A few days back, I got a call from Dr. Van Dyke saying, and she had gotten a referral from the chief of medical staff in the hospital I work with, because I'm also part of the Pink October team. So she got my contact from her, and she contacted me about this project. In fact, after listening to her, I said that there's a laudable idea. It also resonates with my future plans, as asking for you, for me, or anyone going through cancer to be accessible, to be easily accessible, and to ask questions and to get positive feedback. So that is how I got to know about Bisayen.
My name is Abdullah Fusina, and I'm a cancer survivor. I realized this lump. I realized this on the 24th February. That was 2020. 2020. So I quickly go to hospital, and then they asked me to go to Kumasi and do some tests and come back. So I went to Kumasi, and then I finished the test. I bring the results to the hospital, and then they told me that the results is not clear to them, that I should go back to Kumasi.
Maybe me breast cancer. Young funny say 2001. 2001. November 7th. The Danya ne na me who say discharge kakra na say nsuo kakra bi fi me nufu ano na aye me atade a me de da aye no nti na aye madwen na kakra me bisa no say we so e dia nti me dwe ho ano na ekwasi ada na nso no there we dey me ntina ho nti me be hospital nti juada no pa and I'm in hospital. Require usually send you in the hospital. Doctor, you say beside some. Then I'm who say, Nenya, should be if you listen, you only are there. The kind in actually and say, my tidy, I'm a die. me adeɛ. Ɛna ɔyɛɛ sɛ nea ɛwɔ sɛ yɛkɔyɛ test. Mekɔ na ɔmokɔyɛ scan nufu na ɔmokɔhwehwɛhwɛ mu meyɛ mammogram ne adeɛ. Nti ɔmotwerɛw krataa maa me. Adeɛ kyee a ɛna mekɔɔ labs hɔ. Mekɔɔɛ na mekɔtwaa photo no mu. Ɛyɛ biribiara. Ɛna ɔmohyɛɛ me da a memfa m'akyi. Nti na ɛyɛ me sɛ nansa so ɛna me nsa kaa report no. Mede brɛɛ doctors no. Wɔhwɛɛ mu a me a mede ba no makenkan dada. Wɔhwɛɛ mu a na wɔka kyerɛ me so sɛnea adeɛ no si teɛ na sɛ ɔmuhunu adeɛ pɔtee a ɛyɛ me. Nti no yɛmma mmerɛ kakra na wɔhwɛ me fuo no mu na wɔhwɛ. Me tirim ankyerɛ me na afei meda a menna. Nti menna a wɔtwe so sɛnea wɔhyɛɛ me na mesan kɔɔeɛ. Mekɔɔeɛ na doctors no yɛɛyɛ de ɔmo nsa ɛfaa nufuo no mu na ɔka sɛ lumps wɔ mu. But ɛno nso nkyerɛ sɛ ebi a ɛyɛ yareɛ wei anaa yareɛ wei. Nti no deɛ ɔmmɛyɛ ne sɛ mesan kɔ labs hɔ na ɔmo de afidie bi bɛfa duct no duro bɛyɛ na ɛdeda nufuo no mu na ɔmo ahwɛ nea ɛwɔ mu ankasa. Medwene ho ara sɛ yɛde duro bɛfa nufuo no mu ne adam sɛ adeɛ wei deɛ menyɛ. Ɛsiane sɛ ebi ɛbɛyɛ ya. Na doctor no kaa sɛ ɛte saa deɛ a ɛnea ɔbɛyɛ akɔhwɛ at the theatre. Ɔmmɛkɔ theatre ne akɔ akɔhwɛ deɛ ɛwɔ mu. Nti na meka wei nyinaa no na ɛdu December mu ne yɛba abɛdi Bruna. Wɔ m'adwene mu paa bɔ. Na mehuu ne sɛ adeɛ no sɛnea ɛsi teɛ no woahwɛ yɛbɛyɛ breast cancer. But na mennim ntu. Ɛsiane sɛ mempɛ sɛ mempɛ ati. Nti mekɔɔ na mebisa me sɛ discharge no anaa deɛ ɛfi mogya ɛfi nufuo no mu ba no ɛyɛ mogya anaa. Mehu biribi brown deɛ nso so m'adwene mu no magye ato mu sɛ ɛnyɛ no adi. Nti nyɛ adeɛ a magye ato mu. Nti medidi mu ɔmoma maduro mekɔ meba didi mu adeɛ a ɛyɛ November no didi mu ara to May ɛna mehyia doctor baako bi wɔ breast care ɛna ɔyɛɛ sɛ ɔbɛyi lamp na ɛwɔ mu na yɛahwɛ yɛde akɔ na ɔma test aba.
Knowledge indeed is power. I became a bit nostalgic just watching it, and I believe that all three breast cancer survivors who share their stories with us deserve a round of applause. It's a journey not many can go and finish, and so it's good to know that they finished their journey. So we'll come back to the portion we left off from, and that is the key outcome presentation by Dr. Gordon Amu, who is the Acting Global Outreach Consortium Executive Director. Dr. Amu, shall we welcome with a round of applause?
Thank you very much, and Mr. Chairman and Pfizer representative, our sponsors, team members from Bisayen, other stakeholders, all protocol observed. Mine is just to share some few highlights in addition to what my boss, Dr. Priscilla Van Dyke, mentioned. So the project was for 2 years and being led by a global outreach consortium. And just like Dr. Van Dyke mentioned, the idea behind Bisayen was to use, multiple channels because we realized that it is not possible to just use one channel to address the problem of breast cancer. So our approach was to use hospital-based education, patient-centered clinical engagement. We wanted to also build the capacity of healthcare professionals, do some community outreaches, and rely on the media as well to be able to propagate the message of breast cancer. So the three teaching hospitals, Kolebu, Konfanoche, Tamale, and then Accra, Kumasi, and then Tamale were where we actually pitched and did this project. In terms of the hospital-based activation, so what happens is that at periodic intervals at the various OPDs, primary care OPDs, family medicine OPDs, oncology, and then surgical department, breast clinic, we have the hospital activation where the team members from Bisayen actually educate patients and their relations who are the OPD about breast cancer. And in all, we had about 45 sessions overall. And then we also did what we describe as the one-on-one, patient-centered clinical interviewing, and where we leverage on the FIFE model, which is the feelings, especially fears, ideas, function, expectations. And this is very unique because when patients come to the hospital and the narrative is focused on just the biomedical model, then we don't get a perspective of the patients. And from literature, we realize that a lot of patients, they get lost to follow up because of these experiences. So what the project sought to do was to understand their feelings. How do they feel about breast cancer? Do they have some fears regarding breast cancer? What ideas do they have concerning even what caused breast cancer? How has it impacted their function? What do they expect from clinicians, from nurses, from doctors, from this, clinical consultation? And in understanding this perspective from the patients, you are able to then tailor, the treatment and the management according to their needs. And we believe that this was really a game changer. And in all, we had about 123, patients who we recruited. The project itself was aimed at recruiting about 100 patients who had breast cancer, newly diagnosed patients of breast cancer, where we could have this kind of one-on-one sessions. We actually ended up recruiting more than the 100. We recruited a total of 123. And then in terms of the outcomes, we're very much interested in how the project is able to sort of build on their knowledge with respect to symptoms of cancer, signs of cancer, treatment options, and all of that. And at baseline, we obtain between 30 to 35% in terms of knowledge of these parameters that I've mentioned. At 6 months, we had about 68%. At 9 months, we had about 74%, which meant that there was incremental, improvement in terms of their knowledge, their understanding of the causes of breast cancer, the signs and symptoms, the treatment options that were available. And we believe that once the patient's knowledge is improved, then the likelihood that they are going to be retained in terms of their treatment continuum will be there. Then we also know that one of the major challenges with respect to breast cancer is the myths and misconceptions. And for that one too, we had about, in terms of improvement, in terms of those who were able to dispel their myths and misconceptions, baseline, we had about 25 to 30%. This improved to 55% and improved to about 78% as at 9 months. Then we also had a community-based, outreaches. And for me, this was the part of the project that I loved the most, because we go into the communities, we have interactions with, community people, and some of them will tell you they've never had breast, examination before. Some of them will tell you they don't see the need to even go to the hospital. But what was instructive was that once you go to them, they are very receptive. And there were instances where we even go to the community without necessarily having in mind I want to do screening. But we end up doing some screening and we were able to pick some lamps and refer the patients, to the proper care. So this is an area that I believe that if we focus a lot more, we are likely to reach out to more people, because there are a lot of people out there who are not likely to go to the hospital at all, and they've not had any interaction with the health system. And that sort of, leverages on a concept of community-oriented primary care in family medicine, where we leverage on being more proactive. We don't wait for patients to just be ill and come to the hospital, because the whole thing is that I want to identify it early detection, and that will help us in getting good outcomes. So churches and mosques, markets and community debates, schools and institutions, engaging opinion leaders, and then screening activities. These were some of the things that were done under the community-based outreach. And this picture is one of the community visits to Kolegono market, Tuesday market. And it was very, interesting talking to traders and those who were selling and giving them the right information and also giving them the opportunity to ask questions. In terms of the total number of patients at the clinic and also community people that were able to engage, we had almost 9,000 people. In fact, this figure is likely to be more, because our monitoring and evaluation expert is still working on the final document. In terms of the CPD, yes, we had about 6 CPDs and looking at various themes. So breast cancer in special situations, and then also helping healthcare providers to be able to break bad news, which is something that is very key, because when someone has breast cancer, the way and manner you even break the news has the potential to let a patient decide to even receive care from you, or we lose them to other people who may not provide any form of evidence-based care. Then breast cancer in terms of the treatment modalities, and then also leveraging on some family medicine tools, like for example, genogram, where you know the family tree. And based on that, you're able to pick up certain risk factors. And that in itself can help you to provide holistic care to the patient, and then also, which will also benefit the family relations. And then also communication and effective communication and counseling techniques. So in terms of the CPDs, our CPDs were highly patronized. And this really tells us that, people are really interested in getting the right information. We had very good resource, persons. And of these CPDs, a total of about 8,000 healthcare professionals were engaged and giving the right information in terms of, treatment modalities, in terms of how to provide patient-centered breast cancer care. And then the media activities, we were fortunate, just as Dr. Van Dyke mentioned, we're fortunate to have several opportunities to engage, the public, and provided the right information to Metro TV, TV3, Joy Prime, GH1, and then we also had some radio activities as well. And all of this feeds into the approach which I mentioned earlier, that we believe that we can't use just one approach to be able to, deal comprehensively with the canker of breast cancer. Then we also had one unique, activity, and that was what we dubbed as the breast side of life. So we had this drama, series that was, aired on Sunny FM for about 3 months, where patients' symptoms, issues of treatment, issues of early care seeking are all put in the form of drama. And then afterwards, those who were listening had the opportunity to ask questions. And we also had healthcare professionals in the studio to answer those questions. And we believe that was another layer that contributed to the success of this project. In terms of digital and social media engagement, you can't do without these platforms currently. So we use Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X. We use this to really amplify the education that we provided to the public, provided advocacy, and also to ensure that there was visibility in whatever we were doing. In the course of the project, we also had opportunity to collaborate with some institutions, and Kulebu Polyclinic cannot be left out. And we are very grateful to the head of department for the support. And then JAPIGO and then Ghana Health Service, Health Promotion Department, we also had opportunity to collaborate with them. And because of the work that we're doing, we had opportunity to contribute to the social behavioral change communication materials that were being provided, produced nationally as far as Ghana is concerned. And Bisayen had opportunity to be part of that technical working group to contribute our quota towards that. And we also had opportunity to collaborate with the British High Commission, Shivini Welcome Group, and then Trust Hospital, Society of Family Physicians of Ghana, who were very instrumental. And most of our members were actually from Society of Family Physicians of Ghana, Ghana College of Physicians and Surgeons, Breast Society of Ghana, and many others. In terms of the key achievements, we believe that there was improvement in terms of the awareness and understanding of breast cancer, both at the patient level and the community level. From the metrics that I showed earlier, we realized that issues of myths and misconceptions were reduced. Issues of stigma was also reduced. Healthcare providers were empowered through CPDs. And then we've also been able to strengthen partnership with some of these collaborating individuals and agencies. There were some challenges. Obviously, for every project, you will encounter some challenges. And we noticed that because of the very nature of breast cancer, there was some attrition. And some of this attrition was due to death, which was inevitable. And one of the key challenges was also financial constraints by some of the patients. So that affected their ability to continue treatment. And then also, Dr. Van Dyke mentioned that we rolled out a helpline, and which was very expensive. It took a lot of our budget, but unfortunately, it was not, people didn't really subscribe to it. But that in itself is a learning point. It just tells us that perhaps maybe in our environment, this is not what people want. People want to, have that kind of one-on-one and maybe moving into the communities. And we believe this is one of the things that will guide us in terms of, future activities. Then, of course, it was a bit heartbreaking to, despite the work that we're doing, to still see people coming in very late. And then also people holding on, to their myths and misconceptions. Then diagnostic access. One of our survivors mentioned, she was from Tamale. She mentioned that she had to go to Kumasi. And that tells us, the challenge with respect to our health system in terms of accessibility to, diagnostic access for breast cancer. And that is something that we will continue to lend our voice to it. And I know Pfizer is very much interested in doing some other work in that regard. Then, of course, I've mentioned the poor uptake of the breast cancer helpline. Then we all know somewhere last year there was issues with our exchange rate volatility. And that was also a challenge because it really affected planning and budgeting. But all in all, we still soldiered on. In terms of lessons that we have learned, we believe that empowering patients and their caregivers is the way to go. And using the patient-centered approach is definitely the way to go, where clients have the opportunity to really interact. We have that bi-directional interaction with the healthcare provider. Then realize that not all patients are the same. Not all audience are the same. And that is why messages have to be tailored according to the audience. And that is also one of the reasons why we decided to use this multi-pronged approach, because we believe that using different channels, effective channels, will help us to be able to touch base with majority of the population. Then the need to provide emotional and psychological support. You interact with these patients and you realize that there's really the need for emotional and psychological support. They want people that they can talk to, very freely. And then community leadership engagement is key. Some of the places that we've gone to, whether pastors or imams or community leaders, we realize that their contribution is very key. They really wield a lot of power, which we believe we should be able to, leverage on if we want to make the most impact. Then the media, we cannot take the media out as well. Recommendations that they need to scale up the patient-centered education models and then also strengthen referral navigation systems. So you interact with people and they tell you all sort of stories in terms of the challenges that they have navigating with our healthcare system. And we believe all of these are useful lessons that will help us in terms of our national breast cancer strategies. In terms of the way forward, so I have just one thing to say. The fact that looking at all the work that we have done, interacting with people, going to the community, talking to patients and all of that, everybody keeps on asking us the question, are you guys stopping? Are you guys stopping? And we believe there is a need for sustainability of this initiative. We believe that this initiative is one of the few initiatives in the country that basically touches almost every aspect or every channel that can be used to sort of improve knowledge, awareness in terms of breast cancer. And we are really hoping that hopefully our sponsors will consider giving us maybe another opportunity to continue on this project. And with this, I want to say a very big thank you to all the volunteers and the team members who have contributed in bringing us to where we are. So thank you very much.
I think we can do better than that. Thank you very much, Dr. Gordon Amu, for that really comprehensive presentation. Indeed, Bisayen Project did a great job despite all the challenges. All right. At this point, we will move into the comments by the stakeholders. We have quite a number of stakeholders in our midst. We'll start off with the Accord Access and Engagement Director for West and Central Africa at Pfizer, Mr. Philip Adboto. Would you like to come in?
So thank you very much for sharing details, Dr. Gordon. I sat there very, very excited, yet also concerned about the burden of the challenge that you are trying to solve. Before I continue, I just want to address the chair as well. As a chair and standing on all existing protocols. First, I would like to use the opportunity also to commend Dr. Van Dyke, yourself, and the rest of the team that have supported this project to date. Also to commend you for the very interesting findings, outcomes, and the recommendations that have been shared. Many times projects are supported, and sometimes it doesn't get to its end to hear the full outcomes of what can be done better or not. Just to continue as well, I would like to use the opportunity to highlight some few alignments this project has with the project I work on, Pfizer Accord. At Pfizer Accord, we believe wherever an individual lives should not impact his or her ability to access health. So because of this, in 2022, the CEO of Pfizer announced globally that we are offering all of Pfizer's medicines at not-for-profit for 1.2 billion people around the world, for which Ghana is part of. I'm happy to highlight that Kolebu Teaching Hospital together with a few other teaching hospitals, are benefiting immensely from this program. It's for this reason, thank you very much. One of the concerns which was highlighted in the presentation was about patients' ability to afford. So through this program, I'm happy and delighted to say that for breast cancer treatments in particular, many of the patients are able to relatively afford the medicines that they are put on. And we want to continue collaborating with the Ministry of Health and the teaching hospitals for which are benefiting it. So this program is extended to more patients. The second thing I would like to highlight is, in addition to offering medicines, Pfizer also embarked on a huge ambition to help build capacity of health workers. So this is why I say the objectives of Pfizer Accord for a Healthier World broadly aligns with the initiative that you are running. Build awareness about the disease so that patients can get treated early and can live longer, and also build capacity of healthcare workers. And it's on this note I want to say, in my opinion, I believe in supporting the program further. So I'm happy to support any additional proposal that you present for support to enhance this. Beyond this, we are also working closely with JPIGO, so it would be good to align some of the things that you are doing with JPIGO, because through JPIGO, I think Pfizer also offered a $5 million grant to support breast cancer awareness, comprehensive breast cancer awareness, patient diagnosis and treatment, which it would be good to align with. So on this note, I will say once again, thank you very much for the work that has been done, and I look forward to collaborating with you to advance the ideals of this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pfizer. Like we would say in our local dialect, Wanusham. Thank you very much. When you go into someone's house and you don't allow them to speak, you might get evicted. And so the next stakeholder would be the man of the house, the landlord. That's the head of department for the Polyclinic Family Medicine Department, Dr. George Nketia.
Thank you very much, Abna. And I want to say kudos to the Bisayen team. For me, they are brothers and sisters to me. I mean, my own brother and my sister Van Dyke and the whole team, Abna, Inoni, of course, Abba, and Emanuela from Kumasi. I mean, I followed this over the past 1.5 years because I was also interested in the program, and we've collaborated as well, not only as a department, but also even in the insurance space. We've collaborated for them to give a lot of talk, and I can tell that the impact has been great. And I want to say thank you so much for everything that you've done for Mother Ghana and for our men, women and men, because 99% of them are with women, but yes, men also takes about 1% of all breast cancers. And for the work that is being done, I want to say kudos and thank you so much for that. Currently, I cannot stand the capacity of Suffolk. I mean, our able president is there. So, but it's been a lot of collaborations. And one thing that I like is collaborations. It's not, we can't do it alone. It's always through collaborations that we reach out. And I think that is one thing that they've depicted so well, and they've done so well, that we all will need to learn from how they've collaborated across the country to make sure that this work reach out to as many as possible. Thank you very much, and I wish you well, and I hope and I pray that Pfizer would support this so that we can have another probably 2 years, 4 years, 5 years more for more people to benefit from this. On this note, I want to say thank you so much for collaborating with us as well for this one. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nketia. Sorry. Now we feel safe in the house. Dr. Note, have we ever had a female president of SoftBank in the past? Yes. Okay. Because I come from a school where we take first very, very seriously. So for our next stakeholder, please allow me to present to you the first ever female president of SoftBank, Dr. Baba Damwa.
Thank you, Abna. Good afternoon, everyone. And I stand on the protocols already laid down. Thank you so much, Bisayen, for this collaboration and also helping us to achieve more. The Society of Family Physicians of Ghana is made up of professionals who are family physicians from all over the country. And our primary focus is to improve primary care, giving continued, comprehensive, and coordinated care. It is based on that principle that you see some of the things that was done by Bisayen as they exhibited when we were giving their presentation. We are so grateful for this opportunity because over the past 1.5, 2 years, our members have been actively involved with everything that goes on. And Pfizer is also like our home family, also collaborating with us, Softpork, and then also with Bisayen. So this is like a home match for us. Going forward, what I want to assure the Bisayen team is that the society is fully ready to continue with this partnership. Our members are ready to support. We span the length and breadth of the country, everywhere. And with collaboration with you, we can be able to reach more to the community. So with Pfizer's opportunity to fund and also extend the project, we will provide the men and the women, because we have them, to do this work and also to bring it to achieve more so that we can move all the 75% to 100%, isn't it? Okay. So thank you so much to the team. Well done and congratulations in finishing this project.
Thank you, Madam President. So Bisayen had quite a number of stakeholders. Amongst them included the Ghana Health Service, non-communicable disease focal person for the Greater Accra region, who's Dr. Jacqueline Thompson. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it. We also had the rep. Trust Hospital was one of our stakeholders, and we're expecting a rep who is also currently not with us, but it's worth mentioning. The last stakeholder remark will call on a representative from the Breast Society of Ghana, Madam Edam. She's a oncology nurse specialist and was also part of the Bisayen team. So Breast Society, a few words.
Thank you very much, Abna, for the opportunity. I would like to stand on all existing protocols and also congratulate the Bisayen team. I remember when you first started, you contacted a number of us to join in outreach services. And I must say, one of the models used, the FIFE model, was exceptional because one of the things that you notice, apart from financial reasons why patients default, the other thing is information. When they do not seem to understand what is going on, they come and they are lost to follow up. All of these were roadblocks that kept patients away. And Bisayen sought to seal all of these roadblocks. And I must say, I want to congratulate you, especially for coming to the end of your project. And I wish that your sponsor is able to extend the contract so that you can do more. Breast Society of Ghana stands in solidarity with you and wishes you well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Breast Society. Dr. Amo talked about community involvement, and I remember when we went into the communities, we had somebody who was instrumental. You know, when you go into a community and you are led by someone who is respected, you get the audience that you need. And so I'd like to acknowledge the presence of the Assemblyman for Kolegono, Mr. Ransford Quay. Mr. Ransford Quay, you're welcome. Thank you for all the help. Now we are coming to the end of the program. We're almost there. We've reached the part where recognition and appreciation has to be made. And to do that, we have the Bisayen Project Communications Specialist, Madam Jennifer Mankata. Good. who would do that for us. Let's welcome her.
Thank you so much, everyone who collaborated, who supported in cash, in kind, your time, everything. I have a very tall list. Initially, I didn't want to read out the names, but I think that I'll just go through and then just acknowledge everybody. So in Accra, the Bisayen team was led by Dr. Joyce Inoni, and we had Dr. Abna Forua Sapong, Enam Ajo Setuafia, Joyce Boateng, Dr. Nako Wakoka, Dr. Nana Akosia Kunedu Dapo, Naomi Oyo Ohene, Rachel Donko, Dr. Susan Keteku, Adelaide Sapong, Dr. Benedicta Boache, Dr. Elsie Ajakujo, and forgive me if I'm crucifying names. Dr. Elsie, Dr. Anna Mills, Dr. Josephine Boachi Yadom, and Rita Deho. So let's give a round of applause for the Accra team, please. And then the Kumasi Bisayen team was led by Dr. Emanuela Mate, and her team members are Dr. Magdalene Adakwa, Rashid Ofosu Poku, Dr. Vincentia Apia Kwating, Yakubu Abibu Amating, Kwame Ansa, Patricia Owusu, Philomena Eje, Dr. Michael Owusu Ansa, and Priscilla Sewabonsu. Another round of applause for the Kumasi team. Then Tamale Bisayen team, we had the focal person in the person of Joshua Abba Akurugu. Then the team members, Amos Azuri, Fusena Abdullahi, Gifty Safo, Ananopoku Yebwa, Dr. Joyce Kalu Amwa, Mainatu Goodman, Dr. Maxwell Bakara Yinye, Evelyn Osei Amwa, Dr. Abdul Rashid Imtoni Idrisu. Let's give a round of applause for them. And then the national team, we had Adwa Obema Ahulu, Benedicta Abe Mensa, Edisedo, Fanny Bridget Mensa, Dr. Gordon Kwesi Ampuma Amo, Harriet Boche, Jennifer Mankata, Patience Nana Badigrab Johnson, Priscilla Van Dyke Say, Stephen Tete Engman, Edward Kufoba, Ini Kin Ekanam, and Mr. Alexander Say. A round of applause. Then, because we had the call, the toll-free call line, we have some call agents, people who volunteered to do this. Dr. Yongo Anan, Efia Sewa, Intoswo Amponsem, Jesselyn Sulemana, Maxwell Oforiata, Grace Nelson, Naamele Ahiawo, Gifty Odame, Ingeborg Adomako, Wasilatu Abdul Wahab, Mameya Echampong, Miriam Nabia Abdullahi, Nora Treneboa, and Bright Asiedu. Let's give a round of applause for the call agents. Now we had a very good media support team in the person of Dr. Ernest Enimopare, and then the Kolebu Polyclinic Family Medicine Department, then Mr. Josiah Tope from the Metro TV. Then there were a lot of resource persons for the CPD, and our chair was actually one. So we had Dr. David Norte, Dr. Joseph Hansen, Professor Jonat Clegg-Lamte, Professor Henry Lawson, Dr. Nanama Abankwa, and Reverend Dr. Joyce Ayi. Dr. Ayongo Anan. I think I've mixed. The resource persons for the CPD were Dr. Florence Dede, Dr. Na Adoko Aite, Dr. Abdul Jalil Inusa, Dr. Hannah Ayete Ani, Dr. George Inketia, Dr. Ayongo Anan. Thank you. Just give a round of applause for them. Then chairpersons for past and present programs, Dr. David Norte, Dr. Joseph Hansen, Professor Jonat Clegg-Lamte, Professor Henry Lawson, Dr. Nanama Abankwa, and Reverend Dr. Joyce Ayi. So we had a very solid team of chairpersons for our program. We had drama. In fact, the drama team was exceptional, and they got to act out the plays at Trust Hospital and at the communities and all that. And the communities loved it. So the drama team, Leslie Jani, Beatrice Efutu, Dr. Anna Mills, Suzanne Odoy, Dr. Abna Sapong, and Joyce Boateng. A round of applause for our concert people. Then we had screening support and logistic team members. They are not Bisayen staff, but we are very grateful for the support they gave. Mr. Tia, Dr. Anita Tibo, Hannah Braid, Yvonne Boateng, Solis Dewolo, Dr. Annie Asamoah, Alfred Norte, Dr. Evelyn Tagbo, Mr. Ini Ekanem. A round of applause, please. Then the social and media team, Nanaba Ofori Dankwa, Edisedo, Ajua Ahulu, Jennifer, Stephen, and then Stephen Engman. Then the last but not the least team, that's the social media team or enhancers. Bernal Johnson, Maxwell Oforiata, Dr. Anna Mills, Dr. Ernest Enimopari, Wasila Tuwahab, Ifya Sewa Intosio Amponsem, Dr. Magdalene Adakwa, and Gifty Safo Annan. So thank you all. We really appreciate. If we missed anybody, we know that you were still part of the team, and thank you all for your support. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Jennifer. For those of us who may not be aware, she happens to be the star of Dr. Van Dyke Say. So if you've missed Dr. Van Dyke during the networking time, you can go to her. You might pick up a few familiar mannerisms. All right, all too soon, we're coming to the end of our program, and at this juncture, would allow our chairperson to give his closing remarks.
Thank you very much, Abna. Breast cancer is real. I have had breast cancer in my family. As a young doctor, I was stuck with a breast cancer patient that gave me palpitations anytime I was coming to work, because this patient had cannonball lesions all around the lungs, was oxygen dependent. The facility didn't know what to do with her. Those were, I'm talking about the 80s, late 80s. Now that just across the road, you can get an oxygen cylinder and take it home and so on. So it's real. Issues about myth are also real. And I'm telling you, they are such a big hurdle. And the myths go beyond breast cancer. In our part of the world, when somebody dies, somebody killed him. Somebody must be responsible. In some cultures, they'll have to go and find out who was responsible. For every condition, there are alternative perspectives and approaches. I'm so happy that we have this initiative that is addressing a big gap in our approach to health care. Patients will tell you that the most unfriendly place to go to is the hospital. And it's even worse in the hospitals where, the very complex, sophisticated things are done for our patients. People hit the corridors of Kolebu and their stress level is up the roof, But with such initiatives, engaging with them right from the community, raising their level of awareness, explaining things to them, they feel more empowered, more confident to step out. Over the last would say 12 months, I've had two ladies who have had bilateral mastectomy, both breasts removed. And, they spoke about it with confidence. I mean, one was, oh, doctor, oh, have a look. Look, I finished having my kids. I'm fine. I want to live long. Back then, I mean, this lady will be mourning because let's face it, anytime there is a procedure like mastectomy, in the subconscious mind, there could be a feeling of mutilation. Oh, something valuable to my body is being taken away. But with the kind of education and awareness programs going on, they know that your life is more important than, certain organs that you have. You will agree with me that this project has been very impactful. From modest levels of about 30%, knowledge improved up to the 70s. Likewise, the myths, rejection rate got to about 78. This project was able to engage with about 9,000 women, which is very significant. The CPDs, recorded in excess of 8,000. I mean, I remember one CPD, or a couple of them, they had to use YouTube to get people on board because they were so well, subscribed and patronized. So this should tell you that, the impact was great. The media engagements were very important and very impactful. The drama series, I mean, it's only people with creativity who would, put this package and roll it out. We cannot talk without mentioning the key collaborators and then our biggest benefactor, who has pledged to continue supporting the initiative. Let's give him a round of applause. That notwithstanding, the challenges are there and they will continue to be there. And we should not despair. We should try and find innovative ways of surmounting them. We are a third world country, and the factors that go against us are numerous, but with determination and imagination, we should be able to be successful with such initiatives. Of course, the other key, what I'll call stakeholders, the teaching hospitals and the international organizations that support it. We are so grateful. We should be able to communicate the findings to them. When we are talking about impact, impact is long-term. It's too soon for us to look at the impact. But I have no doubt in my mind that, this has been very impactful, and I believe that going forward, we should bring in a lot more of the men who will be the full soldiers, to champion, because sometimes you'll be surprised, the man who would notice that there is something wrong with the, not the breast, the feeding bottle. Yes, so we've got to bring them on board. So I want to once again say a big thank you to Pfizer and say a big thank you to all of you, Dr. Priscilla Van Dyke, Dr. Moon, each and every one of you, the stakeholders, the collaborators, the full soldiers. And I would pledge to be a full soldier going forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Dr. Norte. When you have a good chair, he does all the work. You don't even have to do the next item on the program, because I believe the vote of thanks has already been done. But I'd like to thank God for allowing this project to come to a successful end. We'd like to thank the Executive Director of Global Outreach Consortium, all our stakeholders, members of Bisayen team, everybody gathered here, those of us online. It's a big thank you. We're grateful to you all. We would not have been able to do it as it's been done without your help. So thank you very much, and God bless you. Would like to bring this program to an end with a prayer, and to give us the closing prayer, we'll call on Dr. Anita Tibu, who's a specialist family physician and member of the Accra Bisayen team.
Thank you. Shall we pray? Our Lord and Master Jesus, we thank you and bless you for today. We thank you for a successful end to this program. We thank you for Bisayen, for the successes we've chalked. We thank you for even the challenges that we found out throughout the past 2 years. We ask for your grace to help us to continue to come over the challenges and to bring more people to the awareness of breast cancer so they find the healing that you've given to us to give to them. We pray, Lord, thanking you for the focal people. We thank you for the chairman. Thank you for the project lead. We thank you for every single person who has put their resources into this project. May your grace continue to be with us. Help us to continue to make impact wherever we find ourselves. We thank you for the rest of the year that is ahead. We ask that you help us to end it successfully and begin 2026 with good news. May your name be praised forever and ever. Amen.
A holistic family physician. Thank you for the spiritual care. Yes, so before we go ahead to have our refreshment and networking, we'd like to take a group picture, and we would just move some props around. We'll have some of very strong men coming around to help us with that, so that we'll take our pictures up in front. So please give us about 2 minutes to do that, and then we'll take our pictures. Wherever you want it. Okay, then should we just leave it here? Okay, let's yeah. Yes, you can disconnect.
Bluetooth. Connected. Connected.
So we're going to use this as the background. Put some chairs. To stand. Okay. Okay. Can you please come up so that we take a group photo? The stakeholders first. Okay. We'll have our guest of honors first, and then we'll have the stakeholders, and then the entire house can join. We have our stakeholders joining. Please join. Yes, please. Next, we'll have Bisayen team joining the stakeholders. Accra, Kumasi, Tamale. If Bisayen team members. I'll join. Everyone here, thank you so much for your support, for your time, your dedication. And yeah. Chairs. Let's put the chairs there so that we can get the three of them. Oh, we haven't dogged you. Online members, we haven't. We'll get to you very soon. You can take a group. Yes. When you finish.
I'm using a laptop. It might be difficult, but if somebody has got a phone, you can do a screenshot.
Please give us a few minutes for the refreshments that will be brought in. Refreshments. We have the refreshments outside. You can pick it on your way out. You can also network, pick it and bring it back here and enjoy.